So I just got a Sephora order in the mail. We have 3 new blushes to play with today, 2 different formulas. So of course, the first formula are new shades of the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder blushes. So I picked up 2 of the 3 shades. And then I also wanted to try a new formula. A lot of shades launched of these Givenchy Prisme Libre blushes. I actually had a few requests for this, so I'm starting off with one, and if I enjoy it, potentially I'll purchase more, but we are going to do a little blush play sesh. So let's just get into it. Maybe not this close though. So if you didn't know, Patrick Ta just launched 3 new shades of his very, very popular blush duo, which has 1 powder blush and 1 cream blush. So the shade that I did not pick up is She's Wanted, which is a rich berry, which I noticed on the Sephora website is sold out. But the other 2 new shades that I did pick up were She's Giving and She's Flush. If you aren't familiar with this formula, it is $36 each. And they come with 2 complimentary blush formulas. So we're just going to go straight into it, I guess. We'll get right into the meat and potatoes. So they come in the normal Patrick Ta packaging for the blushes. And what I love about this packaging, first of all, it's mirrored. So the second you touch it, you're going to get a fingerprint. But I love that the cream has a cover, so it stops the powder blush from getting into it. And these are made in the USA. So this one, she is flushed, and She's Giving, which you can see is a vibrant pink. So let's go ahead and swatch these. I'll put one on my cheek at a time, and then we'll do some comparisons, because I do have a couple shades that I wanted to show you, because looking at these online, I was like, I feel like I might have these shades already. So starting off with She's Flushed. Okay. The She's Flushed blush seems a little sheer on the cream formulation. That looks really nice. So let's just put it on. Now, I know that Patrick Ta says the way he likes to apply these is powder first, then cream. I just can't get into it. I like cream first, powder after. It's the way I prefer to apply, so that's how I'm going to. I'm going to start off by using my sponge, trying to keep it all on one side. And I'll have everything else that I have on my face down below. I kept the colors and makeup itself pretty light. I just went back in for a second dip because I like the pigment level of this on my skin tone. It's definitely not overwhelming at all. You can get a very nice light flush. Let's try a finger next, just a little bit. Yeah, and if you use your finger, you're going to get more pigment, but it just blends easier and is a little quicker with the sponge. But I'm familiar with this formula, so I'm applying it how I like to apply it. And then let's put the powder on top. This is the F14 from Blinged Brush. And I'm going light here because the powder formula is more pigmented than the cream. Ooh, that's pretty. So they describe this shade as a soft peachy pink. I definitely think it has a little bit more warmth to it than I anticipated. Maybe a little less peachy pinky, more on the warm side, but it does actually pull. Comparing it from here to the cheek, it looks a bit more pink on my complexion. But this is actually a really nice color for the summer, and it looks very soft, very well blended onto the cheek. The shade is cute. I like it. Okay, so She's Flushed. Okay, now She's Giving, I think it's going to be a popular one because we have a vibrant pink here. Let's see. Definitely has like a blue base to it. Cream first. The cream is not too crazy in pigment, but you can see that blush is vibrant. I think on a deeper complexion, this is really going to pop. I'm going to use a BK Beauty 109 brush for this shade. And you will get the most pigment with this brush here. I like how a sponge makes it a little bit more of an airbrushed, soft application. But this shade definitely has more pigment than the first as well. So this one isn't too crazy. I do find that sometimes with these blue pinks, they can be unflattering. This has just the right amount of warmth to it where it is flattering my skin tone. And it's applying very evenly. I do have a little bit of powder on my under eyes and around the T-zone area. So there might be a little bit of powder hitting this cream blush, but it is technically formulated to be used over top of powder. Cleaning off my brush, I'm going to use a light hand. Yeah, get a lot of color from that and just lightly set over top. And what I do like about this cream blush and powder blush duo is that sometimes when you apply a powder blush over a cream blush, it can cause the powder blush to get a bit stuck. I don't feel that way. But as a lover of this formula, sometimes I don't even set with the powder blush. Sometimes I'll just use the cream because I think it's a really easy to use formulation, or sometimes I'll just use the powder if I'm going for that specific color. But this one on my skin tone is quite vibrant, much more vibrant than She's Flushed. Which do you prefer? I definitely think She's Giving is more on the trendier side when it comes to makeup, especially right now where the Barbie pink is all I'm seeing. Gosh, that movie has put so much money into their marketing to the point where even we're doing Barbie makeup looks. But this is fun, and this one is more natural. And I think both of these colors are going to work for a large range of different skin tones. I did want to do a couple comparisons. Now, most of the shades I had, they weren't identical, so let me show you. I don't have every single individual shade of these, but here's She's Flush and here's She's So LA. They are not close at all to one another. And then here's the new She's Giving next to She's That Girl. This one is definitely more peachy. But where I thought the most similarities were in the original Major Headlines blush palette. Right? Do you notice some similarities? So this one is She's Baked, which I believe you can get in an individual. No, this is She's a Doll, sorry, which yes, you can get in an individual. And that's how they look. They look very, very similar. I feel like She's Giving is maybe a little bit more purple. You can really see the undertones when you compare it to a different tone. And then this one is She's Baked, right next to She's Flushed, which this one is more red and this one is also more peachy. Since I already have She's Giving swatched at the bottom, we're gonna go into She's a Doll next. The cream formula in the non-palette feels a little bit more slippery, but not in a bad way. So here's the cream blush. Here's the powder blush. Honestly, they're quite close. I'm going to go out on a limb and say if you have one, you probably don't need the other. But if you're deciding between the two, She's Giving might have a little bit more vibrancy in it. But I do think these look quite similar. Do you not? And then let's check out She's Baked. Cream first. Sorry, I know it's on my knuckles. Powder next. I would say these two have more differences than these two, but they do still look similar. This one, She's Baked, has a little bit more orange to it for sure. Honestly though, they look kind of close. I think if you have these two shades, if you're looking to save some money, you probably don't need these two new shades. They look kind of close, I'm not gonna lie. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Maybe slight undertone difference that might read a little different on different undertones of skin tone, but blush looks like blush on the cheeks. I don't think there's gonna make a big difference. So there is potential that you probably don't need these two shades, but if you do not have a lot of the existing shades in the Patrick Ta blush line, this might be what you want to pick up because I can speak on the formula, and the formula of these are gorgeous. They are long-lasting blushes. I do think you get versatility in having a cream and powder blush in one because you don't need to pair them together. If you're looking for a different medium, you have that option. I've been a big time fan of this formula for a long time, and I do enjoy the colors, but I am a little disappointed in how close they are to the two other shades. So, Okay. So now let's get to the more, for me, exciting part because, like, I'm familiar with the Patrick Ta formula, but when I made this order, I was only supposed to get the Patrick Ta formula, but then I saw this launch and I was like, I need to try that. So Givenchy, which I do not have a lot of in my collection, launched these Prisme Libre loose powder blushes in 6 shades, which I thought was a lot. I only picked up one, and I'm like curious. Now I only picked up one because these babies are $43 for like a single blush, you know? So if I like this, maybe I'll buy more. But this is a 4-color loose powder blush. That's why I like these, because the 4 colors just makes it seem fun, doesn't it? That provides 12 hours of radiance and an instant pop of color. Ultra fine milled weightless texture, which I do not have the setting powder, but I do want to try that because I heard that's really blurring. You know how I love a good blurring, softening powder? And like I said, there's 6 shades, and I went for the most obnoxious shade for some reason, number 1, the lilas, which probably wasn't the way to go in terms of being flattering. So I hope I like this formula because I have my eye on the Voila Coral. The organza sienna also looks really nice. So it comes in the Givenchy packaging. Like I said, I don't have a lot from Givenchy. I am very far from an expert of this brand. But this is made in Italy, which we like, the mirror top, and then you can see the 4 different shades, which are supposed to blend harmoniously together to create a really flattering shade. And you can get a closer look at the shades here. Okay, I gotta peel this off. You wanna listen? You wanna hear it? That was not satisfying. Ah! It does have a little bit of a fragrance to it if you don't like fragrance. I personally do, but that's just me. Just gonna put it in the cap. Don't want too much. Let's start off by swatching this. I struggled to get it on my finger. It looks like it might not be flattering. Oh, am I gonna regret this? That looks really light. Did you even see that? Take 2. But doesn't it look kind of light? Oh, I don't know about this. I might not like this. Let's see. I've cleaned off this brush. I think she made a mistake with this color. I think I should have ordered a different one. Okay, building it up though, actually, it's quite pretty. It's very natural, much more natural than I thought. I thought it was gonna be more vivid on my cheek. But after a little bit of building up, okay, I feel better about that. This is actually, I'd argue, more flattering on me than the bright pink from the Patrick Ta. And it does kind of blend seamlessly onto the skin. That milled formula, you can tell it's very, very fine, which is softening to the cheek. And it's, as they say online, a diffusing color for a natural second skin finish. I do agree with that. And it says for more of an intense payoff, build it up on the cheeks. And I definitely do notice that building it up, it builds relatively quickly. It's not the most pigmented blush, but I think that's nice. That's normally, if I had a preference, if I were to ever formulate my own blush, it would be softer but can be built up to be pretty vibrant. It does have this little thing, which I guess you could use as well, but I think that's pretty. Do I think I'm gonna spend another $43 on another shade? I don't think so. Talk to me during the Sephora sale, because I might have a different opinion. It did blend in really diffuse onto the cheek, which I think honestly looks more natural than the way the Patrick Ta blends onto the cheek. So it's a very, very nice formula, but I've just been brought down back to earth. $43 for a single blush. I don't know that I need another shade of this. It did knock my socks off initial impression, but it does have a luxurious, soft look to the cheek. So I'm going to continue using this. I'll keep you updated as I use this more if I like it better. Because sometimes when it comes to these products, it takes me a few uses to decide on that. And sometimes after those few uses, I'm like, wait, I can't put this down and I love this formula. And I actually end up loving it more. And sometimes it's the reverse effect. So we'll see. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little blush play session. Just playing with some of the new things that have arrived at Sephora. I am enjoying what I tried. I actually, like, the more I'm looking at my cheeks, the more I'm into this blur that this blush gives. But also, I do like the Patrick Ta blushes. I'm excited just to have the new full colors because I love the line so much. But they definitely were not a necessity for me. I do feel like if you have the 2 shades I just showed, or if you have that palette, You probably do not need the 2 new shades, but I love that formula so much. I'm still excited about a slight expansion here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you picked up any of these products, let me know down below your thoughts. Am I going to need to pick up another Givenchy blush? Let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.